The spotlight hit Alexander like a thunderclap, his silhouette sharp against the crimson curtains of the black box theater. I watched from the wings, heart pounding in sync with the swelling orchestra. As he pulled her close, the lead actress, Elena, with her raven hair cascading like a villain's cape. Their lips met not in rehearsal tenderness, but in a kiss that lingered too long, too real, the kind that rewrites scripts without a word. The audience erupted in applause, but I felt the floor crack beneath me, a silent earthquake swallowing my world whole. "Bravo!" someone shouted from the front row, but all I heard was the echo of our whispered promises fracturing like cheap glass. By intermission, the whispers had turned to laughter, sharp, slicing giggles from the drama kids who'd always eyed us like a punchline. "Did you see Daniel's face? Priceless." One hissed, and just like that, I wasn't the stage manager anymore. I was the joke, the punchline in a tragedy I never auditioned for. I remember the exact moment I fell for Alexander Voss. It was freshman orientation at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in Manhattan. The air thick with that electric buzz of ambition and vulnerability that only theater kids can manufacture. We were crammed into the old auditorium on West 44th Street, the one with the peeling gold leaf on the proscenium arch and seats that still smelled faintly of mothballs and forgotten dreams. The dean was droning on about crafting authentic emotion, but my eyes kept drifting to the guy in the third row, slouched low in his chair, one long leg kicked out like he owned the place. Alexander had that effortless cool, dark curls falling over his forehead, sharp jawline shadowed with just enough stubble to make you wonder what it felt like under your fingers. He caught me staring and flashed a grin that hit like a spotlight, crooked and conspiratorial, as if we'd already shared a secret. After the assembly, I lingered by the coffee cart in the lobby, fumbling with my ID badge like an idiot. Daniel Hayes, it read stage management major, wide-eyed kid from suburban Ohio who'd traded cornfields for concrete jungles on a partial scholarship. Alexander sauntered up, balancing 2 steaming cups. "You look like you need this more than I do," he said, handing one over. His voice was low, smoky, with that faint southern lilt from his Atlanta roots that made every word feel like foreplay. We talked for hours that afternoon, about Tennessee Williams' Broken Hearts, the way audition callbacks could gut you worse than a breakup, and how we'd both lied to our families about why we chose this city over something practical. By sunset, as we wandered the neon-lit streets toward his cramped walk-up in Hell's Kitchen, his hand brushed mine. I didn't pull away. Neither did he. That was 3 years ago. Now, as juniors, we were the Academy's golden couple. Alex, the brooding method actor everyone whispered about. Me, the steady hand keeping the chaos of productions in check. Our apartment was a 5th-floor shoebox above a falafel joint on 9th Avenue. Walls plastered with playbills and headshots. The bed a nest of tangled sheets where we'd whisper lines from our favorite scripts between kisses. "You're my anchor, Danny," he'd murmur into my neck after a late-night rehearsal, his breath hot against my skin. "In this madhouse, you're the only real thing." I'd believe him every time, because in those moments, with his body pressed to mine, the world outside our window, the honking taxis, the relentless rain, faded to black. But the Academy was a pressure cooker, a glittering viper pit where talent was currency and jealousy the interest rate. This semester's big production was Phantom of the Opera, a guest-directed spectacle to lure alumni donors. Alexander landed the role of Raoul, the dashing hero, ironic, given how he always played the anti-hero offstage. Elena Vasquez got Christine, the ingenue with a voice like smoked velvet and a reputation for method immersion that bordered on scandal. She was a senior, transfer from Juilliard, all curves and confidence, the kind of beauty that made straight guys stutter and queer ones question their bearings. I'd seen her in the green room, laughing too loud at Alexander's jokes, her hand lingering on his arm during notes. It's just chemistry for the stage, I'd tell myself, pasting on a smile as I adjusted the ghost lights or cued the fly system. But doubt is a sneaky bastard. It creeps in like fog over the Hudson. Rehearsals ramped up in October, the theater transforming into a labyrinth of candelabras and velvet drapes. I'd arrive early, coffee in hand for the cast, clipboard at the ready to wrangle cues. Alexander would bound in late, script under one arm, takeout bag in the other, always sharing his falafel with Elena first, like it was an inside thing. "Danny, babe, you gotta try this tahini," he'd say, but his eyes would flick to her, testing the laugh lines around her mouth. I swallowed the knot in my throat, chalked it up to the role. Raoul was all chivalry and longing. Of course he'd lean into it. One night, after a grueling 12-hour run-through, we collapsed onto the prop couch in the wings. The stage was empty, just the hum of the HVAC and the faint scent of dry ice lingering. Alexander pulled me onto his lap, his fingers tracing lazy circles on my thigh. "This show's kicking my ass," he admitted, voice raw from belting high notes. "But seeing you out here keeps me grounded." He kissed me then, slow and deep, the kind that erased the day's bullshit. His hands slipped under my shirt, calloused from guitar strings and stage fights, mapping the freckles across my chest like they were constellations. We made love right there, muffled gasps against the dusty velvet, the thrill of almost getting caught sharpening every touch. Afterward, tangled and sweaty, he whispered, "I love you, Danny. Don't ever forget that." I held onto those words like a lifeline, even as Elena's laughter echoed from the hallway outside. As opening night loomed, the academy buzzed like a hive on steroids. Posters plastered every bulletin board, Phantom in blood-red letters, Alexander's face brooding beside Elena's ethereal glow. My name was buried in the fine print, assistant stage manager, but I didn't mind. Being behind the scenes suited me. I preferred the control, the quiet power of making magic happen without the applause. Friends like Mia, our sassy costume designer with her purple-streaked hair and zero filter, would tease me about it. "You're the real Phantom here, Dan, haunting the shadows, pulling strings." We'd grab cheap beers at the dive bar on 10th after rehearsals, spilling secrets over greasy wings. "Alex is intense with her," Mia said one night, swirling her IPA. "But it's the role. Trust me, I've sewn enough codpieces to know when a guy's faking it." I wanted to believe her. God, I tried. But late at night, scrolling through the Academy's group chat, endless memes and voice notes, I'd see the thirst traps. Elena posting rehearsal selfies, Alexander's arms slung casual around her waist. Captioned, "Diving deep with my muse Phantom vibes." The likes poured in. Comments like, "You two are fire," from classmates who'd never given me the time of day. I confronted him once, over cold pizza in our kitchenette. "It's just promo, babe." He laughed it off, pulling me close. "You're the one I come home to." His kiss was fire, urgent, and for a moment, I let it burn away the unease. But unease is flammable. It builds until the spark hits. The week before opening, we had our first full dress rehearsal. The theater thrummed with energy. Crew in black, cast in period finery, the air heavy with hairspray and nerves. I was at the tech booth, headset on, calling lights like a conductor. Stand by for the chandelier drop. And go. The massive prop crashed down in a shower of safe confetti, eliciting gasps from the cast. Alexander nailed his entrance, sword at his hip, cape billowing as he swept Elena into the balcony scene. Their duet soared, "All I Ask of You," his tenor weaving with her soprano in perfect harmony. From my perch, it looked magical, the kind of moment that makes you believe in art's redemptive power. But then came the kiss. Scripted. Sure. Raoul's tender reassurance to Christine amid the opera house's shadows. Alexander cupped her face, leaned in slow, their lips brushing in that classic stage tilt, cheek to cheek for the audience's illusion. Except this time, he turned her chin just a fraction, sealing it fully, a beat too long. The director, old Mr. Hargrove, with his perpetual scowl, barked, "Hold it, that's committed. Alex, dial back the heat. This ain't Cats." Laughter rippled through the house, but Elena just smiled, wiping gloss from her mouth with the back of her hand. Alexander shot me a wink from the stage, mouthing sorry, but his cheeks were flushed, eyes bright with something I couldn't name. That night, in bed, I pressed him about it. "What was that?" I asked, voice steadier than I felt. He rolled toward me, propping on an elbow, his body warm and familiar. "Adrenaline, Danny. The lights, the music, it pulls you in." But it was nothing. His hand slid down my side, fingers hooking into my waistband. "Let me show you what's real." We lost ourselves then, bodies moving in the rhythm we'd perfected, his moans soft against my ear. But as he drifted to sleep, arm heavy across my chest, I stared at the ceiling cracks, tracing patterns like fault lines. Cracks in us? Or just in me? The Academy's rumor mill ground faster than a Broadway milliner. By Monday, whispers followed me down the halls. "Did you hear about Alex and Elena's rehearsal kiss?" Snickers in the green room, side eyes during scene study. I ignored it, buried myself in blocking notes and prop lists. Mia cornered me in the laundry room, arms full of sequined bustles. "Talk to me, Hayes. You look like you swallowed a lemon." I spilled it all, the kiss, the flush, the gnawing pit in my stomach. She hugged me fierce, smelling of fabric softener and resolve. "Confront him, but don't accuse. And if it's bullshit, walk. You're too good for stage whispers." I took her advice that evening, over takeout Thai on our fire escape, the city skyline twinkling like distant applause. Alexander listened, chopsticks paused midair, his face open, vulnerable. "Danny, I swear, it's the character bleeding over. Raoul's all about protection, passion. But you're my everything." He set the food aside, drew me into his lap, kissing me with a desperation that tasted like truth. "No one else. Ever." We made promises in the cooling autumn air, sealing them with touches that left marks. Hickeys on collarbones, fingerprints on hips. For a while, it held. The rehearsals smoothed out. The kiss stayed cheek to cheek. I relaxed, let myself believe in us again. Opening night arrived like a storm front, crisp November air biting through my black dress shirt as I paced the alley behind the theater. The marquee glowed, Phantom of the Opera ADA presence. Ticket holders milled on the sidewalk, bundled in wool coats, programs fluttering like excited birds. Inside, chaos reigned. Elena in her dressing room, vocalizing scales, Alexander shadowboxing in the wings to shake nerves, Hargrove barking last-minute adjustments. I was everywhere, cueing the orchestra, double-checking the fog machine, slipping Alexander a Lucky Charm, a silver cufflink engraved with our initials. "Break a leg," I whispered, stealing a quick kiss before the house lights dimmed. Curtain up. The auction scene unfolded flawlessly, the cast's energy crackling like static. Then the Phantom's lair, the sword fight, Alexander lunging with feral grace, sweat gleaming under the gels. Intermission hit, and I exhaled, joining the cast for hurried hugs and water breaks. "You're killing it," I told him, and he grinned, that crooked flash that still unraveled me. Couldn't without my director off stage. Elena breezed by, air-kissing his cheeks. To Act 2. Lover boy. The word hung, innocuous to them, acid to me. But I swallowed it, focused on the reset. Act 2. The manager's office. The rooftop finale. As the orchestra swelled into All I Ask of You, Alexander and Elena ascended the makeshift balcony, moonlight filters bathing them in silver. Their voices blended, pure and aching, the audience leaning forward in rapt silence. He took her hands, drew her close, the scripted embrace. Then, as the music crested, he dipped her low, and instead of the tilt, he kissed her. Full, frontal, no illusion. Lips parting, a soft gasp from her that carried over the mics. It lasted 3 heartbeats, 4, 5 before he pulled back, but the damage was done. The theater exploded, whoops, whistles, a few shocked murmurs. Hargrove's face in the booth was thunder, but the applause drowned it out. I stood frozen in the wings, the bouquet I'd brought for his bow wilting in my grip. The lights came up for bows, the cast flooding the stage in a wave of cheers. Alexander took his solo call, bowing deep, Elena curtsying beside him, their hands linked in what looked like triumph. The Academy crowd, students packed in the back rows, roared loudest, their claps a mocking thunder. As the curtain fell, I slipped out a side door, the cold slapping my face like a wake-up call. My phone buzzed. "Mia. What the actual fuck? You okay?" I didn't reply. Instead, I walked, blocks blurring under streetlights, until I reached the Hudson's edge. The water churned black and indifferent, mirroring the twist in my chest. Betrayal wasn't a word yet. It was a wound, fresh and gaping. Back at the apartment, I waited. The door clicked at 2 a.m., Alexander stumbling in reeking of champagne and congratulations. "Danny, you should have stayed. It was electric." He lunged for a hug, but I stepped back, the distance between us a chasm. "The kiss," I said, voice flat. "Explain." His face fell, confusion flickering to guilt. "It just happened." The moment, the crowd, they ate it up. Improv, babe, art. The word curdled. "You kissed her." On the mouth. In front of everyone. He raked a hand through his hair, pacing our tiny living room. "It's theater, Danny." Suspension of disbelief. "She means nothing," but his eyes darted, avoiding mine, and in that evasion, I saw the fracture widen. We argued until dawn, voices rising like bad blocking, accusations flying like errant props. "You've been pulling away for weeks," I shouted. "The photos, the muse bullshit," he fired back. "You're always in the shadows, overthinking, jealous of a role." It ended with him storming to the couch, me curling into bed alone, tears soaking the pillow. Sleep came fitful, haunted by stage lights and her lipstick on his collar. Morning light sliced through the blinds like judgment, turning our apartment into a crime scene of scattered clothes and half-eaten takeout. I woke to the smell of brewing coffee, Alexander's peace offering. He stood at the counter, shirtless in boxers, his back a map of faded tattoos, a phoenix on his shoulder blade, wings spread as if fleeing. "Truce?" he asked, sliding a mug my way. "Black, 2 sugars, just how I liked it." I took it, but the warmth didn't reach the ice in my veins. "Last night wasn't a dream," I said, voice hoarse. He winced, leaning against the sink. "I know. I fucked up. But Danny, it was the high, the ovation. I got carried away. Like we were some footnote in his spotlight chase. We dressed in silence, the Academy's pull inexorable. Another show tonight. The run was sold out for 2 weeks. In the subway, shoulder to shoulder amid the morning crush, he tried small talk, quips about Hargrove's toupee, plans for dim sum after. I nodded, but my mind replayed the kiss in loops, her hands in his hair, the way he'd lingered. At school, the lobby thrummed with post-opening chatter. Cast members high-fived Alexander as we passed. Elena waved from the box office line, her smile all teeth. "Hero of the night," she called, and he waved back, easy as breathing. I felt invisible, a ghost in my own life. First call was a blur note session in the rehearsal hall, Hargrove pacing like a caged lion. That kiss, was bold, reckless. But the house loved it. Keep the fire, lose the liberties. Alexander nodded, sheepish, while Elena batted lashes and cooed apologies. The cast tittered. Someone muttered method acting with a wink. My headset crackled. Mia on comms. "Dan, green room in 5. We need to talk." I excused myself, finding her amid bolts of tulle, scissors snipping like shears of fate. "He's gaslighting you," she said bluntly, eyes fierce behind her cat-eye glasses. "That wasn't improv. It was ego. And the Academy? They're lapping it up like it's fanfic." She pulled up her phone. Instagram reels of the kiss, clipped from audience videos, already at 5K views. Comments flooded. Alex-Elena chemistry trending in the AADA hashtag. Memes of me captioned, "The Phantom's real ghost, boyfriend edition." I laughed, but it came out brittle, shattering inside. "It's just theater gossip." Mia gripped my arm. "No, it's humiliation. He's turning you into the side character. Fight or fold, but don't fade." Her words stuck like stage glue as I returned to the booth, calling fades and blacks with mechanical precision. During the matinee, I watched from the catwalk, high above the fray. The kiss replayed note perfect, cheek only this time, but the memory tainted it. The audience still hooped, straight girls in the mezzanine side over Alexander like groupies. After curtain, the green room was a circus, flowers, bottles of cheap Prosecco, Elena toasting to unexpected encores. Alexander pulled me aside in the hallway, his hand on my waist. "Let's ditch the cast party. Come home. Just us." His eyes pleaded, that vulnerability I couldn't resist. I nodded, weak-kneed, letting him lead me out into the dusk. We walked hand in hand through Times Square, neon assaulting our senses, billboards hawking wicked and energy drinks, tourists snapping selfies. At a hole-in-the-wall ramen spot, we slurped noodles in a booth, knees touching under the table. "I'm sorry," he said again, setting down his chopsticks. "For the kiss. For not seeing how it hit you." I've been so wrapped up in proving myself. His voice cracked, and there it was, the boy from orientation, scared and seeking. I softened, reached for his hand. I know the pressure. But we're a team, Alex. Not props in your story. He squeezed back, promising changes. Boundaries with Elena, date nights sans scripts. We stumbled home buzzed on ginger ale and hope, falling into bed with the urgency of reconciliation. His touches were worshipful, kisses trailing from jaw to navel, whispers of mine against my skin. In the afterglow, tangled sheets and sated sighs, I thought maybe we'd rewrite this act. But the Academy had other scripts. By midweek, the joke had metastasized. Lockers scrawled with Danny the Cuck in washable marker. Voice memos in the group chat mimicking my shocked face from a leaked photo. In scene study, a classmate ad-libbed a line about loving the understudy more, the room dissolving into snorts. I confronted a ringleader, Tyler, the smug lighting tech with a man bun and trust fund, outside the scene shop. Knock it off, I said, voice low. He smirked, leaning on a flat. Lighten up, Hayes. It's all in fun. Alex and Elena are the real show. Everyone says so. Fun. Like my heart was confetti for their parade. Alexander noticed, of course. At lunch in the courtyard, under the skeletal oaks shedding copper leaves, he draped an arm around me. Ignore the assholes. They're jealous, but his protectiveness felt performative, like blocking for a crowd. That night, after another sold-out show, kiss restrained, but chemistry crackling, he vanished post-curtain. Texted, cast thing ran long. Love you. I paced our apartment, the clock ticking past midnight, doubt curdling into dread. When he finally keyed in at 1:30, lips swollen and shirt untucked, smelling of her perfume, jasmine and ambition, I didn't need words. Where were you? I asked, arms crossed like a prompt book. Green room toasts. Elena twisted her ankle. We iced it. The lie hung, thin as scrim. Show me your phone. He hesitated, then handed it over. Screen unlocked. Messages from her. Tonight was magic. Meet after? Heart emoji. His reply can't. Boyfriend duty. But the timestamp, sent from the bar. Not home. The fight was nuclear. You're fucking her, I accused, hurling the phone at the wall. Clattered. Screen spiderwebbing. Alexander's face twisted. Anger, shame, defiance. It's not like that. She's complicated. The role blurred lines. Okay, but I love you, love. The word weaponized now. Then end it. Her. The lines. He sank onto the couch, head in hands. I can't. Not mid-run. It'll tank everything. Everything. Not us, everything else. I packed a bag that night, crashing on Mia's futon in her Bushwick share. She brewed tea, listened to my sobs. Bi-curious my ass, she spat. He's bi-confused. And you're the collateral. I cried until empty, the Academy's laughter echoing in my skull. The next day, I called in sick, first time ever, wandering Central Park instead. Leaves crunching underfoot like brittle resolve. Ducks paddled in the reservoir. Oblivious, joggers blurred past, earbuds in. I sat on a bench, journaling lines I'd never speak. Exit stage left, pursued by a bear of betrayal. My phone buzzed. Alexander, we need to talk. Please. I ignored it, But Mia forwarded Academy chatter. Petitions for Elena Alex spin-off show. Faculty praising their organic spark. By evening, resolve hardened. I showed up to the theater, headset on, face a mask. Alexander cornered me pre-show. Danny, don't do this. Do what? Survive? Focus on your cues, I said. Voice actor flat. Christine's waiting. The performance was flawless, technically. From the booth, I watched him woo her, the kiss a peck that fooled no one. Post-curtain, the cast party raged at some speakeasy in the village. Prohibition vibes, bathtub gin flowing. I skipped it, opting for solitude at a jazz dive on Bleecker, saxophone wailing my blues. Mia dragged me out anyway, thrusting a Manhattan into my hand. Dance. Damn it. We did, clumsy twirls amid strangers, her laughter a bomb. Then Alexander appeared, Elena on his arm, ankle wrapped, but steps steady. Danny, he called, weaving through the crowd. Elena hung back, eyes downcast. Can we? No, I cut him off. Enjoy your encore. I turned, heart hammering, leaving him in the smoke. That night, alone in our apartment, his key still worked, but mine didn't. I stripped the bed, folded his clothes into neat piles like evidence. Sleep came in fits, dreams of spotlights blinding me to trapdoors. Morning brought rain, sluicing the windows like tears deferred. Alexander returned, eyes red-rimmed. I sent her home. Told her it's done, the flirt, the whatever. His voice broke. I choose you. Always. Part of me wanted to believe, the romantic in me, the fool. We talked for hours, raw and reckoning, his bisexuality, unexplored until her. My insecurities, rooted in high school closets. I'm scared, he admitted, tears tracking his cheeks. Of losing the stage. Of losing you. I held him then, our bodies fitting like puzzle pieces worn smooth. Then fight for us, I whispered. Like Raoul. But real. We tried. God, we tried. Date nights at hole-in-the-wall Italian joints, where he'd quote sonnets over tiramisu. Lazy Sundays scripting our own scenes, bodies as props. The Academy's jabs lessened, Tyler's marker scrubbed clean, memes fading like bad reviews. But scars linger. During the run's final week, Elena cornered me in the prop loft, amid dusty trunks and feather boas. I'm sorry, she said. No makeup. Vulnerable. It was mutual, the spark. But he's yours. Hers? No, ours. Fractured. I nodded, forgiving for my sake, not hers. Break a leg, I replied, meaning it. Closing night loomed, a bittersweet finale. The theater smelled of farewell, roses wilting in vases, programs stacked for recycling. Alexander nailed his bows, the kiss a ghost peck. Backstage, he pulled me into a crush of hugs. We did it. We, for the first time in weeks, felt true. The cast party was tame, karaoke at a karaoke bar, off-key music of the night drawing cheers. Alexander sang to me, off mic, his hand in mine. Hope flickered, fragile as a gel sheet. But hope is theater's cruelest illusion. December arrived with a vengeance. Snow dusting the Academy's gargoyles like powdered sugar on a stale cake. Holiday lights strung across the lobby in defiant cheer. Phantom wrapped with a gala after-party. Alumni in tuxes toasting the next generation. Alexander and I arrived arm in arm. Me in a borrowed velvet blazer. him in the Raoul cape repurposed as flair. Heads turned. Whispers followed, but they were softer now, laced with "aren't they cute?" instead of cruelty. Elena kept distance, chatting faculty with professional poise. We danced to a swing band cover of "Think of Me," his lead confident, my follows tentative but trusting. "This is us," he murmured into my ear, breath tickling. No scripts. For that night, I believed in the rewrite. Winter break beckoned. A week back in Ohio for me, Atlanta for him. Airports loomed like intermissions. At JFK, amid the holiday crush, we clung in the security line. "Call every night," I demanded, half joking. He grinned, kissing me deep, uncaring of the stares. FaceTime foreplay. "Miss you already." Flights delayed. We grabbed overpriced pretzels, trading stories of Christmases past. My mom's fruitcake disasters, his dad's grilling fails. "New Year's resolution," he said, lacing our fingers. "More Danny, less drama." I laughed, the sound lighter than it had been in months. Boarding calls parted us, but his text hit as wheels left tarmac. "Skies bluer with you in my orbit. Love." Ohio was a time warp, flat fields blanketed white, family dinners heavy with turkey and unspoken questions. "How's the big city?" Mom asked, passing mashed potatoes. "Still with that actor boy?" I nodded, evading Dad's grunt. Nights, I'd video Alex under the covers, his face pixelated but earnest, regaling me with Southern Gothic tales from his folks' ranch style in Decatur. Dad grilled me about the lifestyle. He confessed one call, voice low. Told him it's not a phase, it's you. My heart swelled. We talked futures, post-grad editions, maybe a joint loft in Brooklyn, co-producing indies. "We're building something," I said. He agreed, eyes shining. Act 2. Baby. Back in the city. The academy slumbered under snowdrifts, but callbacks stirred the hive. Alexander landed a reading for an off-Broadway Rent revival mark. The filmmaker, ironic for his voyeuristic soul. I prepped his sides, running lines in our kitchen till the neighbors banged ceilings. "You're nailing it," I'd say, rewarding flubs with kisses. Auditions were his battlefield. I'd wait in cafes nearby, scripting contingency plans on napkins. He booked it, whooping down the street to tackle me in a snowbank. We celebrate. Sake bombs at a midtown izakaya. Then home to christen the news with sake of our own slow, exploratory, rediscovering contours like explorers. But spring thawed more than sidewalks. Elena, turned out, had her own callbacks, a cat's revival, no less, her flexibility a selling point. She and Alex crossed paths at equity calls, networking over post-audition coffees. "It's industry," he assured me, when I raised brows at the group chat invites. "All above board," I trusted mostly. Mia, ever the sentinel, vetted. "She's ghosting him in my book." Good riddance. We thrived in the interim. Picnics in Washington Square, where he'd busk guitar for quarters. Poetry slams in the village. My verses earning snaps. His applause loudest. One night, under cherry blossoms unfurling pink, he dropped to one knee, not proposal, but mock serenade, crooning a butchered La Vie Bohème. Laughter bubbled, love solidifying like setting plaster. Yet the Academy's shadow lingered. Senior showcases loomed, our last hurrah before scattering to agents and cattle calls. Alexander was cast in a new piece, Shadows on the Boardwalk. A Coney Island ghost story directed by a hotshot alum. Elena, co-lead. Naturally, the spectral siren to his haunted peer rat. It's perfect, he enthused at read-through, script trembling in excitement. I smiled through gritted teeth, assigned again to stage manage. Rehearsals kicked off in March. The black box reborn as a foggy midway, cotton candy props, carousel silhouettes. Chemistry? Undeniable. Their scenes sizzled. Her luring him into the surf, whispers of lost loves. Hargrove, back for this one, gushed. That's the money shot. I buried unease in spreadsheets, cue sheets, run times, the tyranny of transitions. But nights, doubts whispered. Alex came home late, smelling of sea salt and her shampoo. Blocking ran long, he'd say, collapsing into my arms. I'd hold him, but the embraces felt obligatory, his mind replaying lines with her ghost. One evening, post-rehearsal, I waited in the lobby, script in lap. They emerged together, laughing, her hand on his elbow for support. My stomach nodded. Hey, I said, standing. Elena smiled tight. Night, Daniel. Great work on the fades. Alex kissed my cheek, chaste, distracted. Home soon. Home without him echoed. Paste, brewing chamomile that went cold. Mia called. Spill. I did the lateness, the touches. He's orbiting her again, I admitted. She sighed. Set boundaries, or set him free. Wisdom, sharp as shears. When he arrived 2 a.m., eyes glassy, I waited on the fire escape, city hum below. What's happening? I asked. No preamble. He leaned on the railing, curls wind-tossed. It's the show, Danny. Intense. But you're my North Star, lies, dressed as poetry. Then why her hand on you? Why the secrets? He deflated, confessing, flirty texts, a harmless drink after hours. It means nothing. She's straight. Anyway, just playing the part. Straight. The word a slap. And you? Playing by for the bit. Hurt flashed in his eyes. No. This is always. We argued under stars smudged by light pollution. Voices carrying to indifferent windows. He swore off the drinks. Deleted threads. I forgave, because love is a repeat offender. But trust? Fractured, like a dropped prop glass. As opening neared, the Academy fermented fresh drama. Shadows posters went up. Alex and Elena in silhouette embrace, waves crashing. Group chats buzzed. OTP alert. Tyler revived memes. This time with my face photoshopped as the boardwalk clown. In the green room, whispers needled. Daniel's the real ghost, haunting their romance. I lashed out once at a run-through, snapping at a light cue. Hargrove pulled me aside. Cool it, Hayes. Professionalism. Professionalism. As if my heart weren't the uncredited casualty. The night before opening, Alexander and I had the talk. The big one, wine-fueled on our couch. After this, he vowed, glass raised, no more co-leads with her. Addition solo, life tandem, clinked, wanting the toast to transmute lead to gold. We made love with intention, eyes locked, no rushing, his body a vow etched in sweat. I see you, he breathed, and for a heartbeat, I did too. Opening night, Coney fog machines chugging, carousel waltz eerie under strobes. I called show from the booth, voice steady. Their entrance, him ragged on the pier, Her emerging from mist drew gasps. The seduction scene built, her song a siren's call, his resistance crumbling. Then the kiss, not scripted full, but he went there again, pulling her into the surf's edge, lips crashing like waves. The audience gasped, applauded wild. Hargrove nodded approval from the aisle. From my perch, gutted me raw, unfeigned passion. Intermission, I bolted to the alley, gulping air thick with dumpster rot. Mia found me, coat flapping. Breathe, Dan. That's not acting. Her words confirmed what instinct screamed. Post-show, the after-party at a Brighton beach bar ironic, given the setting. Salt-rimmed margaritas, 20s jazz. Alex found me nursing a beer. Incredible, right? His glow was incandescent, ego-fed. Elena hovered, radiant in flapper fringe. We owned it, owned. I excused myself, wandering the boardwalk's ghost, faded signs, shuttered rides. Waves lapped, indifferent. He caught up, breathless. Danny, wait. Under a flickering Ferris wheel sign, he pulled me close. It was the role. Again, but his eyes, distant, divided. Choose, I said, voice breaking. Me or the applause. Silence stretched. Sea wind whipping. I can't lose this, he whispered. This, the show, her, the high. Not us. I walked away, salt-stinging tears, the boardwalk swallowing my footsteps. Back in Manhattan, I crashed with Mia, packing Alex's things into boxes, his scripts, his scent. He texted, please talk. Please. I blocked, deleted, detoxed. The Academy mourned my absence, whispers now pitying. Poor Daniel. Dumped for the diva. Tyler even apologized. Awkward bro hug in the hall. Didn't mean to pile on. I nodded. Numb. Auditions called my own. For stage management gigs at regional theaters. Callbacks in Chicago. Offers from Seattle. Escape hatches. One night, post-shadows wrap. Alex showed at Mia's door. Disheveled. Rain-soaked. Let me in, she did, reluctantly. I faced him in the living room, arms crossed. Why? He collapsed to knees, sobs racking. I fucked up. Epically. She's nothing flattery, fear. But you, my home, words I'd longed for, too late. You chose the stage, I said, soft. Now walk it alone, he begged. Promises, therapy, time. I wavered, the romantic's curse. But betrayal's math, subtract trust, divide by lies, remainder zero. We parted civil, his key on the counter, my bag at the door. I love you, he choked. Prove it to yourself first. Door clicked shut, a final curtain. Spring semester blurred into a fever dream of reinvention. I sublet a closet-sized studio in Astoria. Greek diners on every corner. Subway rumble a lullaby. No Alex. No whispers. Just me, armed with a second-hand futon and a stack of backstage ads. The Academy felt distant, a diorama viewed from afar. I commuted for classes, stagecraft seminars, directing workshops, keeping my head down, notes meticulous. Mia became family, crashing with spanakopita and sarcasm. You're glowing, Hayes. Betrayal becomes you. She wasn't wrong. Solitude sharpened edges, honed focus. I directed a one-act in the student lab the last 5 years, gender-swapped, raw with what-ifs. Reviews in the school paper. Hayes crafts heartbreak with surgical empathy. Empathy. Born of blood. Alexander, a specter. Sightings via grapevine. Him at equity calls. Landing a TV pilot guest spot. Queer barista in a Netflix dramedy. Elena faded to LA. Cat's tour purring her away. He emailed once, long, literate apology, laced with our town quotes. I was Grover's Corners, blind to the dead until they spoke. I read it in a coffee shop, tears salting my latte, then archived. Forgiveness, a process, not a scene. Mia urged blocking. New York's full of fish. Real one. I dip toes apps. Mixers at queer bars like Boxers, where drag queens emceed Truth or Dare. Flirts fizzled. No one sparked like his crooked grin. Healing's not linear, my therapist said. Academy-subsidized sessions, a silver lining. Grieve the betrayal. Celebrate the growth. Summer hit humid and hungry. I scored an internship at the Public Theater, non-union. Coffee runs. But magic. Watching Tishgrad's workshop new works. The air electric with untested words. Long days bled into nights at rooftop parties. Skyline toasts with strangers who became friends. Javier, a lighting designer with an infectious laugh and easy touch, caught my eye. Dancing salsa under string lights, hips swaying invitation. We kissed in the shadows, tentative, tasting like possibility. Your trouble, he murmured, fingers in my hair. Trouble? Healing. But dawn brought Alex's face unbidden. I ghosted. Polite fade. Not ready, I told Mia over mimosas. Or picky. She winked. Both. Own it. Back at AADA for fall. Senior year loomed, capstone projects. The gauntlet. Whispers greeted. Daniels directing Angels in America. Ballsy. Pryor. Tony Kushner's Epic. Queer AIDS Odyssey. Roy Cohn's Venom. Pryor's Visions. I cast boldly. Tyler as Roy. Redemption arc. Mia as Hannah, fierce maternal. Alexander auditioned, uninvited, but bold. His read for Pryor, haunted, holy, voice cracking on "We will not cut our losses." The room hushed, tears pricked. Callback, I said, professional mask intact. Callback. He earned Lewis, Pryor's faithless lover, betrayal incarnate. Irony, theater's middle name. Rehearsals were minefields. Black box transfigured, hospital beds, spectral angels on wires. Alex arrived early, script marked, I seeking mine. Proud of you, Danny. I nodded, cueing projections. Offstage, civility strained, water cooler chats. How's the pilot? From me, miss our scenes from him. Tension built like static. His line deliveries laced with subtext. My notes clipped. One night, post-run, he lingered in the house. Coffee? For old times. Rain pattered the roof. I relented. Diner on 8th, greasy spoons. All-night fluorescence. Over eggs. Walls crumbled. I was selfish, he admitted. Fork stabbing hash. Chased validation. Lost the only real validation. I stirred sugar. Cyclone in my cup. Growth looks good on you. Laughter. Tentative bridge. Weeks deepened. Blocking intimate scenes. Lewis fleeing Pryor's bedside. Guilt etched. Alex nailed the anguish. Drawing from our wreckage. Method, I teased during notes. He met my eyes. Life, the cast sensed undercurrents. Mia stage whispering palpable chemistry from the wings. Post-rehearsal hangs evolved. Group tacos at Los Tacos number 1. His knee brushing mine under the table. Sparks, embers, banked but warm. Javier texted sporadically, friendly check-ins. But Alex's orbit pulled stronger. Gravitational. Mid-run. Crisis. Tyler sprained ankle mid-flight. Angel wire fail. Understudy flopped. Alex volunteered double duty. Lewis and Roy, stretch, but his range devoured. Dress rehearsal. Him in Cone's suit. Venom spitting, then shedding to Lewis's anguish. The transformation gutted power to vulnerability. After green room emptying, he cornered me by the mirror. "This is for you," he said, voice rough. "Reparations," I swallowed. "Don't earn." He nodded, resolve hardening. Opening, sold out, alumni packed. Angels descended in light storms. Monologues thundering. Alex as Lewis fled. Then as Roy raged. Dual devils. Redeemed. Curtain fell to standing O. Tears streamed unchecked. Backstage. Hugs electric. Alex pulled me into the wings. Forehead to mine. "We did this. We." The pronoun healed something. After party at a speakeasy, prohibition cocktails. Kushner toasts. We slipped away early, walking the village in crisp air, leaves skittering. At my stoop, he paused. "Can I kiss upstairs?" I nodded, door clicking soft. My studio, cramped, but ours for the night. Clothes shed like scripts discarded. His hands reverent, mapping scars. "I've missed you," he whispered, lips on my pulse. We moved slow, rediscovery, gasps charting new territories, old rhythms reborn. No rush to climax. The connection, the quiet after, him curled to my chest, breath sinking. Dawn filtered, coffee brewing. "What now?" he asked, vulnerable. "Act 3. I said. Unwritten. We rebuilt deliberate therapy dates. His bi-group meetings, my directing seminars, his pilot reshoots. Boundaries etched, co-star protocols, weekly check-ins. The Academy noticed. No jokes now, just nods of "you two are goals." Mia officiated our reunion over brunch. "Don't fuck it up, Voss." He didn't laugh, he swore. Holidays. Ohio met Atlanta. Mom's bonding over pie. Dad's grunting approval. New Year's. Times Square ball drop. His arms my anchor amid the crush. Spring brought offers. My capstone lauded. Invites to Sundance Labs. His pilot greenlit for series. Decision loomed, LA for him. NYC for me? Long-distance beta test, he proposed. Over rooftop wine. 6 months. Then reassess. I agreed. Heart trepid. Summer. Cross-country drives. Route 66 motels where we'd reenact fear and loathing. Laughing till dawn. But distance tests. Time zone skew calls. Jealousy nips at cameos. Fall. Ella's son baked his texts golden. My queen's reigns grade replies. Pilot rapped. Buzz. Trades praising his nuanced queer lead. Party invites tempted. He shared selfies. Arm around co-stars. Platonic. Trust stretched. But held. Thanksgiving. I flew west. His bungalow in Silver Lake, pool view. Succulents. Family dinner. His folks warm. Mine via Zoom. Post-feast. Canyon hike. Sunset painting us ochre. This works, he said. Hand in mine. It did mostly. Then, the call. December. His agent buzzing. Broadway callback hates down. Orpheus. Dream role. Eurydice open. Casting rumors. Elena. Stateside for pilots. Auditioning. Coincidence, he texted, but my gut twisted. Boundaries, I reminded. He affirmed, you first. Audition week. I flew in. Hotel anonymous. Callback him and her. Chemistry autopsy. Director gushed. They nailed duet. After drinks industry, he swore. I waited in the lobby. Script of doubts. He emerged. Flushed. Booked it. Joy. Shadowed. Her too. Whispers confirmed. We'll manage, he said, kissing my temple. Manage. The word chafed. Rehearsals. I visited weekends. NYCLA shuttle. Watched from the house. Their wait for me. Yearning. Electric. Kiss. Minimal glance. Grasp. But offstage. Her laugh at his jokes. Late-night run-throughs. One night, post-show, I confronted in his trailer. It's happening again, he paled. No, Danny. It's work. Work. The perennial excuse. Text surfaced. Flirty. From her our myth. His professional. Betrayal redux. Sharper. For weed rebuilt. I flew home. Blocked numbers. Mia. End scene. Therapy. Patterns break with breaks. Auditioned for Seattle rep. Full-time ASM. Offer came swift. I took it. Farewell party. Academy alums. Toasts bittersweet. Alex called voicemail. Broken. Don't go. Fight. Too late. I left a note. Look back. Orpheus. She's your myth. On my own. Seattle. Evergreens. Fairies slicing sound. New crew. Kind. Queer inclusive. Directing side gigs. Life scripting fresh. Dates. A barista with tattoos. Puppeteer with whimsy. Sparks. No infernos. Alex. Broadway buzz. Hates down raves. Him and Elena the pair to beat. Reviews noted tender romance. Photos. Embraces post-bow. I archived articles. Unfollowed. Healing. Second verse. 1 year on email from him. Post Tony Nom. Saw your production in Portland. Brilliant. Miss you. Always. I replied, break legs. Write your epic. No bridge. Humanistic close. Not reunion, but release. Betrayal's gift self as lead. 2 years evaporated like dry ice. Poof. Into the ether of hindsight. Seattle had woven me into its rainy tapestry. A loft overlooking Puget Sound, where fog rolled in like unscripted entrances, and mornings started with espresso and script revisions. The rep became home base assassins in fall, Sondheim's sardonic shooters under my cues, Spring's fun home, Alison Bechdel's graphic memoir pulsing with the quiet thunder of coming-out catharsis. I directed now, not just managed, my take on The Inheritance, Matthew Lopez's AIDS-era epic, earning a regional nod and whispers of haze to watch. Whispers. The Academy's currency, once poison, now propellant. Personal stage. Javier resurfaced. Visiting for a lighting gig, our old flirt reigniting over faux and ferry rides. He stayed, his laugh filling silences, hands steady where Alex's had wandered. You're solid, he said one night, tracing my jaw in bed. Solid. Not electric, but enduring, like the Space Needle's steadfast glow. We built hikes in the Olympics, his designs illuminating my blocks. No grand gestures, just reliable acts, coffee runs. I got you texts during tech weeks. Love, evolving, unhurried. Alexander's orbit spun distant. Hates down Tony Wynn, Orpheus crowned. Elena Eurydice sharing spotlights. Trades gushed, their mythic bond. Red carpet arm in arm. I watched clips once. Muted, his curls longer. Smile triumphant. Her hand possessive on his elbow. Muted, the sting dulled to ache. Then to nothing. A scar. Not a wound. He messaged sporadically. Congrats on my directs. Links to his variety profiles. Polite deletes. Mia visited. Bridging coasts. Voss is engaged? To her. Rumor mill churned. I shrugged. His curtain. Then. Curveball. AADA Reunion Gala. 5-year mark. Alumni showcase at the Edison Ballroom. Invite gold embossed. Daniel Hayes. Visionary director. Temptation tugged. Nostalgia's siren song. Javier encouraged. Go. Close the loop. I did. Solo tailored suit. Nerves knotted like bad rigging. Manhattan welcomed back. Honk symphonic. Steam rising from grates like stage fog. The ballroom glittered. Chandeliers dripping light. Name tags clinking like cues. Hugs abounded. Mia. Fierce in sequins. Tyler. Man bun tamed. Now a Broadway gaffer. You slayed Seattle, he toasted. Genuine. Alexander arrived fashionably late. Flanked by Elena. No ring but vibes screaming committed. He looked. Evolved. Sharper cheekbones. A leading man polish. But eyes scanning till they locked mine. Danny. Voice husky. Unchanged. Elena air-kissed. Congrats on the nod. Polite venom under honey. We mingled, small talk over caviar blinis. His Hatestown tour. My inheritance tour de force. Tension hummed subtext. Unspoken what-ifs. Post-dinner. Speeches. Dean lauding enduring talents. My turn, podium grip slick. Words flowing. Theater taught me betrayal's bite, but also resilience's roar. We rise not despite the falls, but through them queer, human, unbroken. Applause thundered. Alex's gaze burned from table 5. After. Balcony escape, city sprawl below. Empire State winking. He joined, scotch in hand. That was. You. Pause. Heavy. Seeing you tonight, proud. And gutted. Gutted. Echo of old wounds. We talked, raw, unblocked. His side. The high of Orpheus bled into life. Elena's pull a mirror to his fluid self. I chased the myth. Lost the man. Engagement off, her ambition outpacing his heart. Therapy helped. Late. Mine. Seattle's steadiness. Javier's quiet anchor. You freed me to direct my own. No blame. Just accounting. Laughter crept, remembering orientation coffee. Our Hell's Kitchen romps. Best plot twist, he said. Clinking glasses. Us. Even broken. No kiss. No rewind. Handshake instead, firm. Farewell. Write better. Alex. Direct bolder. Danny. He left arm in arm with Elena. No solo. Her with agents. Dawn cab to JFK. Javier's text. Safe flight. Love. Seattle welcomed. Rain cleansing. Sound silver. Javier met at arrivals. Hug warm. Home. Epilogue unwinds gentle. Javier and I, co-directing a new queer musical, Echoes of the Evergreens. Logging tales of love's loops. Wedding, small, beachside, fairy horns toasting, Mia officiating with roasts. Alex, distant star, off-Broadway Angels revival, him as prior, redeemed. We email holidays, break legs. Humanistic coda, betrayal's biograph, not epitaph. We all stumble stages, lights forgive, curtains call encore. In the end, the joke? On the jesters. Love's the real punchline, messy, mended, magnificently ours. Years later. Kids? Not yet. Pups first. A golden retriever named Q. Javier's lights. My words, symbiosis. Alex weds a composer. Quiet ceremony. Birth announcement follows. A boy named after Williams. We attend each other's openings, neutral ground. Nods across lobbies. The Academy? Legend now. Our story whispered in green rooms. Hayes and Voss? Epic fallout. Epic rebounds. Not joke, but cautionary romance. Choose self, then soulmate. Final hook. At a festival panel, queer theater. From pain to power, Alex and I. Moderatrix Mia grinning. Questions probe. Betrayal's role? He speaks first. It broke me open. I follow. Remade me whole. Applause swells. Off mic. His wink crooked. Conspiratorial. Old secret shared. Survival's the sexiest plot. Fade to credits. Lives intertwined loosely. Threads of what was weaving what is. American dream? Nah, queer reality. Dramatic. Emotional. Romantic. Raw. Human. To the marrow.